In every story of faith, there's a moment when life feels beyond repair, when the weight of years, pain, and loss becomes too much to carry. For Scott, that moment came about 6 months ago. A heart attack changed everything. His body weakened. His spirit, already fragile, seemed to give way. The strength to fight simply disappeared. Soon after, a letter arrived from the county treasurer. It wasn't just a notice of unpaid taxes. It was a final warning. Their home, the place that held every memory of his family, was about to be lost. But, truthfully, Scott had already been losing that home for years. 10 years earlier, his wife, the love of his life, passed away in that house. Since then, Scott hadn't changed a thing in her room. Not one picture, not one folded blanket. Grief had frozen time, and for a decade, he simply existed inside its walls, a prisoner of memory, standing still while life kept moving. Jonah, his son, was only 12 when she died. Now a young man, Jonah had grown up with the residue of pain and grief always tainting his confidence. He didn't have a job, a driver's license, nor any plan for the future. Social anxiety made the world outside feel impossible. So he stayed where it was safe, where his mother's memory lingered, in the home he was about to lose. But as their world began to crumble with bills unpaid, faith uncertain, and a home slipping away, something unexpected began to happen. Their church invited them to join 21 days of prayer. At first, it was just a commitment, a routine, but what started as a church practice soon became a turning point, a move of the Lord working quietly in their lives. This is the story of Jonah and Scott, a father and son, each carrying years of pain, stepping together into a season of prayer. Over 21 days, we watched faith awaken where loss had settled. We saw hearts softened, hope rekindled, and two lives slowly drawn back toward the God who still heals, still restores, and still writes new stories even after years of silence. This is more than a documentary about change. It's a journey of grace, prayer, and renewal. A witness to what happens when the Lord begins to make all things new. All right, today is day 8 of 21 days of prayer with Jonah. And here we are at the church. I guess this is where we come to every night. And at this time of the day, we always get these beautiful sunsets. But anyways, Jonah,
yeah,
what are you thinking about today? What are your thoughts today that you wanna talk about?
Well, we've kind of touched on a little bit, laid some foundations on what's going on in my life. We're jobless, we got no car. As you said, we're kind of buried. But it seems as though God's kind of answering some prayers, right? Using some people as some vessels of good. And like you took my dad out. What was that for again?
The church helped you guys out making your rent this month.
Yeah. Basically rent, because the taxpayers took our house from us. Now that our lawyer negotiated with them to, if we paid X amount, we could get it back, about $400 every month. But we still got utilities and all that, obviously, so it's tough. And we weren't going to be able to pay that, really, so we're struggling right now. And you guys, you really stepped in and helped. You have no idea how grateful I really am. And you told my dad, you told me, and then you explained it to me about how you and Debbie are gonna give this car to us because we don't have a car right now. Yeah, that's big. That means a lot. And I'm aware you make runs for Walmart, and now you're giving my dad a bit of an opportunity with that. I've been on him about doing something when it comes to working a reliable job, not just waiting for a call back on housework. And I've been praying about that, and yeah, things are coming together. It's crazy how this stuff works. By the end of this, I'm gonna have a job of my own. You guys said you're gonna help me out with the bike. That's great. I'm just grateful. This is day 7 or day 8. Day 8. January 12th. We're about to reach the middle point of this. I'm feeling good. I think pretty soon we're gonna get into the weeds of what's going on in my life, of what's really making me tick, and what's really what I'm really here for.
Yeah, because after one of the services, you came up to me and you started telling me stuff, and you said, nobody knows this. And so there are places that we're going to go yet that nobody knows. And it is a part of your healing. And you said that the reason that you're coming to this, after you thought about it and asked God, what does he mean? I already know why I'm coming to this. It's for you to heal. And there's lots of areas in your life that need healing that we haven't really touched on yet, but we will.
Yes, that's to be determined. So far every day, I've been writing notes of every day, every time we come to this. I'm sitting there. You see me on my phone a lot. It's because writing down notes of what I'm hearing and what I'm capturing, that's really sticking out to me. First, it's like breaking down, like a little bit of structure of what was being talked about, key points, and then I like to write down a lot of the passages and verses that you guys say.
Did anything stick out to you yesterday?
Yeah. Yesterday was really a lot about sticking true to what you believe when it comes to the Lord, and if you're going to teach, if you're going to go around trying to help people, you have to first help yourself, right? And that's so real to me, because I struggle to help myself, right? But I always am sticking my neck out for people, especially when it comes to a shoulder, right? So, there's one, John 8:31, to the Jews who believed him, Jesus said, "If you hold my teachings, you are really my disciples, and you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." And that, on that chapter, really, also, 2 Timothy 2:1-2, you then, my son, be strong in grace, that is, Christ Jesus, and the things you have heard me say in the presence of many witnesses, and trust to reliable people who will also be qualified to teach others. I wrote down a little note for that. We share how we have helped anyone in our lives by leading them to the Lord the best we can with God's will. Because you guys are talking about how, we call on the presence of the Lord to help us through situations, especially to help others. Can't rely on our own understandings. That's why we gotta be in the Word, and the presence. And I think that's, since I haven't been in the Word too much in my life, I think the presence has really helped me get by with that. God is really, I talked about this before, he's really stuck his neck out for me and made things easier for me to understand, So I am greatly appreciative of that. That's the way I see it. I'm sure other people will disagree, but when you are in the process of in this type of process, in the middle of it, it's just something you can't ignore.
So what would you say is one thing that you've learned in the last 8 days?
It's kind of funny because it's something, it's like a catchphrase my pro wrestling character says, talking about divine balance. It's literally to trust the process. To trust the process.